Homeschooling can sometimes feel like you're trying to juggle it all. Curriculum, co-ops, time outside, playtime, life, and somehow you still have to keep your home running. If you're also struggling and looking for a way to make it all work, know that you're not alone. Through trial and error, we found a rhythm that help us balance it without feeling too overwhelmed. Today, I'll share what has worked for us. Hi, I'm Iraida from Adventure and Wonder. If you're new here, I have a preschooler that I'm homeschooling and a now 2-year-old that's tagging along for the ride. As parents, we have so much on our plate as is, and homeschooling just adds a little bit more into the mix. Choosing to be my kid's teacher is something that I absolutely love and that I would choose over and over again. And it brings so many joys with it. But I would be lying if I said it was just easy. I think in all the excitement of the curriculum, of talking homeschool, of planning for next year, of dreaming of all the great things and the excitement, we sometimes forget to think and talk about the hard parts of homeschooling. I want everybody here that's watching, that's coming in new to homeschooling, to be prepared. And I want all you guys already walking through this homeschool journey to know that you're not alone if you feel like it's a struggle sometimes. But I also want you all to know that it is 100% doable if we put in some hard work. Academics are so important, at least in our family, but so is creating a life where learning and play and nature and family can all exist and thrive together. For a while, that was a little hard for me, but I'm going to be sharing with you guys what has worked for us to make juggling all the things a little bit more manageable and maybe help you guys along the way. The first thing I did was stop planning day by day. Instead, we have a weekly rhythm and a weekly to-do list that we just check off as we go. Because we are a family that values academics so much, we have a ton of curriculum. And if you guys have been around for a while, you know that I love curriculum. I could talk curriculum forever. We have a bunch of curriculum and we do a lot of things. But equally as important to us was having the kids be kids, having the kids play with other kids, having the kids spend time outside. And honestly, I don't want to miss anything. I want to do it all. So I want to do all the curriculum, but I also want to participate in all the activities and go on all the field trips and go see all the friends and have as much free playtime as possible. When I first started, I started the way that everybody plans. This is what we're going to do Monday, this is what we do Tuesdays and Wednesdays, Thursdays, and so on. But because our plans were changing all the time and we had last minute activities come up and appointments and friends that wanted to play by and co-ops, I always felt like we were behind. We were perpetually behind and I was stressed all the time because we couldn't get everything that I had on Monday done on Monday and everything that I had written down on Tuesday done on Tuesday. So I switched to doing a weekly checklist of everything. I just go through all of our curriculum, see what all needs to be done with what that week, and just put it on a big to-do list. And so we have time, I'll just go in and check it off. I have a video planning this way that I can link down below so you can go see exactly what I'm talking about if you're curious. But we don't do daily Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday planning. We just do weekly. And our week kind of has a rhythm. Our weekly rhythm gives us a lot of flexibility and works around whatever we have scheduled. We often do the same things on Mondays and we often do the same things Tuesday, the same big things, but we don't have to if we don't have time to, or if we just don't want to, or if we're having a rough day. We do complete everything in that 1 week, if at all possible. We always try to, unless there's something major that happens, but the weekly list, the task of weekly list always gets done in that week, but whenever we can do them. Our weekly rhythm is very much based and takes advantage of the days we are home versus the days we are not home and we are outside doing something. So for example, Mondays we have one of our co-ops. So Mondays we leave the house pretty early and we're already out of the house. We have to drive a bit of ways. So since we're already out of the house, Mondays is also our library day. So on our way back from that co-op, it's kind of in our rhythm, stop at the library, get the books for the week, return the books that we've already used, and it gets us all ready with all the materials that we need for the rest of the week. So it's nice to do Monday and we're already out of the house. We don't have to take a trip out of the house and get everybody ready and all together and waste time that way. We're already out of the house, we take advantage of it. And the kids love to just go play in the library too. Tuesdays, we have ballet. So that one is not as early. So, but when we leave the house for ballet, we also try to do any other doctor appointments or any service calls or anything like that that will require us to leave the house. I try to schedule them on Tuesdays around ballet. So I get the kids out of the house and ready, and we go to ballet and we go do whatever errands we need to do that are not usually weekly things that happen over and over again. Tuesdays is like our spare day of going out of the house. And then Thursdays we have our nature co-op. So it's another day we leave the house. And Tuesdays when we get back from co-op is when I go grocery shopping. I take both kids and we get something to eat on the road, or I'll take a lunch with us, and then we go grocery shopping and we don't have to leave the house again. Fridays is our extra day for fun things. So it can be play dates with friends. We often do field trips on Fridays. We go to Disney sometimes. So Fridays is kind of like our open, fun day for whatever comes up. You might have noticed that I talked about Mondays, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays. I said nothing about Wednesdays. It's because we set up mid-week rest day, which has been essential to managing the chaos, a little bit of balance in life. So Wednesdays are our stay-at-home days. Wednesdays, we hit our curriculum hard. We worked on all our table school and we do the one-on-one instruction, not with the co-ops. And it's also our big chore day at home. So we divide the day. I don't make my daughter sit down at the table from morning until late afternoon to do schoolwork. We'll do little bits and they take a break and play, and I do housework. They have their chores they do, and we come back again and do a little bit more, and we'll do the core subjects like language arts and math and divide it with some art and some music, composer study. So we tend to do all that Wednesdays. It also works as it is a very intensive catch up with curriculum day and catch up with housework, but it is a nice rest day because most mornings we are running out the door and it's something we choose to do so we can get to do all the things we want to do. But having those slow mornings and just taking a day to rest at home, not having to get super ready and all that, is such a nice reset right in the middle of the week. So we have a little bit of hecticness in the beginning of the week, a little bit of hecticness in the end of the week, but we really need that day of rest, of catching up. And the days that we're not able to have that for whatever reason, we feel it. We all feel it. And it is a good day to refocus. Another thing that has really helped us with this balance of trying to do it all is using the small pockets of times we have in between all the scheduled activities. We don't do certain subjects a certain day. With our weekly checklist, everything is kind of on the table for whenever we have time. So if we have 30 minutes before we're leaving to ballet, if we get back from one of our co-ops and we have 2 hours or 15 minutes or whatever amount of time we have, I look at my checklist and see what can get done in that time. And we squeeze every little bit of time we have. Instead of just doing nothing, we do some schoolwork. And that's why the checklist method is also amazing, because if I have an activity that I know it's going to take a long time, like a science experiment or a study for nature, or a lot of the times art takes a while here because the kids kind of get into the groove and taking the paints out, and we always go outside to do that, and like they get into the flow of doing the art. It takes some time. I can't do that in 15 minutes, but if I have it all laid out, probably 2 math worksheets or reading a picture book and discussing or something like that can be done in those 15 minutes. So I have it all available to me right there, and I can decide what I can fit in that moment in time, whatever time I have. Another thing that has really helped is choosing co-ops that fit our priorities and our values. So we're kind of killing 2 birds with 1 stone here. From the beginning, it was very important to us to have the kids be outside in nature as much as possible. And another priority for us was having the kids be able to socialize with other kids. My kids are very much people. They love people. They love being around friends. They love being around people. So it's very important to us that they get that, because that really fills their cup. So having regular socialization with other kids and having free playtime with other kids was extremely important to us. So we're looking for co-ops. We found a nature forest school type co-op, which was amazing. They get the nature, it's always outside in nature, hiking or something, and we're doing an activity involving other kids and having that socialization, but also having that nature time outside. With our other co-op, it's an enrichment co-op, and it's more of kids doing activities together and a lot of free time. When I was looking for a co-op like this, I couldn't find anything. A lot of things were either all free play and they just kind of met up randomly at different parks with random kids. It wasn't consistent, and I wanted that consistent group of kids for my kids to develop close friendships with. And I wanted that free play aspect, but I also wanted them to work together in groups with other kids to do some activities. And I looked and I looked and I just couldn't find anything like that. So we created one and got together with a group of moms that was kind of looking for the same thing, and we just set it up. And we've had the same consistent group. We've had a couple people come and go, but for the most part, it's just the same consistent core group, and the kids see each other week after week after week after week, the small group of kids that they've really, really developed these close friendships with. And the learning we do gives them time to explore as a group together, think out loud, kind of get feedback from the other kids, and it's been really great. So our co-ops, instead of just going just for the sake of going to a co-op, were very much selected because they fit into what we were looking for and our priorities. Go out and find a co-op that works for you, and if you can't find one, create one. It's not that hard, and you'd be surprised the amount of parents looking for the same things you're looking for. So you just kind of have to put feelers out there and commit. Another thing we do to kind of balance it all is having flexible weekends. I know typical school, you don't do school during the weekends. Weekends are not for school. But homeschool, you don't have to follow any rules that anybody set. So we do some work on weekends. Whatever we haven't been able to get done during the week, that we try to sneak and work in as much work as we can. So we usually don't have a ton left, but we usually do have a little bit of school left to do on the weekends. And the weekends, it's usually easier because my husband is here, so he can entertain the little one and we can get things done more quickly. But also sometimes while my husband is mowing the lawn, we'll take those 30 minutes, an hour to get some schoolwork done. So we are not really not having weekend time, but we're just taking advantage of that extra time during the weekend to finish whatever we have left. Because even though I do not follow a strict Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday schedule, it is important to me that we don't fall too far behind. So everything that I have planned during the week, I mostly want to get done during that week. Talking about all this, that we use as much time as we can and take advantage of the little pockets in time. We take advantage of doing schooling in the weekend to be able to do all these things during the week. I very much so make it a priority to protect our family time. I carve out some sacred quality time to just spend together as a family. Even though with homeschooling, the lines between teacher and mom, it can get really blurry, and that's okay because life roles are a little bit blurry. I still want my kids to know that I am mom first. First and foremost, I am their mom. Our family comes before anything else, any time with friends, any schoolwork. Our family time and our bond comes before whatever else is there. I make it a priority to stop school every day for dinner. We always have dinner together. Every single day we sit down as a family and have dinner together and kind of talk about our days, disconnect, no TV, we just talk. And sometimes the kids are silly and sometimes it's chaotic, but that's just part of being a family. After dinner, our evenings tend to be for family time. So we will sit together and do an activity together. And they love watching music videos with their dad. Usually we're very low TV in this house. We turn on the TV to do if we need to watch something for our curriculum, but because we're trying to take advantage of as many pockets of times as we can, we don't really just sit there and watch TV. Don't get me wrong, the kids will most definitely sometimes while I get dinner together watch some TV so I can cook. But it's not just something that it's a default in this house to just turn on the TV. But their TV time sometimes with their dad to watch music videos while I do something else, or we sit down as a family and watch one kids movie together, or sit down together and make bracelets or paint or dance together. Our evenings are very much reserved for family. Dinner times is sacred. And then we usually make it a point that every weekend, even though we have a bunch of things going on, we usually have birthdays in the weekend, and my husband has house projects and I'm working on house projects, and we try to do some school on the weekends. We make it a point to do at least one outing as a family over the weekend. So these are just the things that have really worked for us, for our family, to try to balance it all, to do all the academic stuff, to complete all our curriculum, to still have time to play with friends, to have time to go out into nature, to have time to do all of the housework, to have some time to rest, and to have some good quality family time as well. Will these things that I just share with you guys work for everybody? No. Will these things work for us forever? Probably not either. But at the end of the day, homeschooling isn't about doing everything perfectly. And to be honest, most of the time it won't be perfect. But it is about creating a life and a schooling that perfectly fits your family, your very unique family, because no two families are alike. So creating a homeschool that lets you have the flexibility to flow through different life stages, through different things going on in life, through different priorities, is really what it's all about. Even though all our homeschools might look very different, that's part of the beauty in it all. And maybe by sharing, we can learn a little bit from how we all do things and just find comfort in knowing that we are kind of all going through the same things. So if you, like me, are struggling with balancing all the things that taking on this role as your children's teacher entails, then I hope maybe some of these things that have worked for us can be helpful for you. I really hope this video was helpful in some way. If you guys want to let me know in the comments what things have worked for your family, I'm always willing to learn and take in all the tips. I'll see you on the next one. Bye.